the things in there are not so much of a difficulty to grasp, especially with you, the business students, because most of the concepts that we are going to introduce here or speak about are things that you have done in some of your courses before. So I don't think there will be much of problem so far as this course is concerned. So please put in your maximum effort. If you don't need an A, at least just score an A for me. If you don't need yourself, me, I need it. As my student, I want you to score an A. So I'll urge you all to put in your maximum effort to score A for me. Yeah, so I think we have waited enough, about 10 minutes now, and we have to make some progress because we can also wait for our other colleagues forever. Beyond that, I have another assignment that I have to also attend to. So we'll do this one snappy and then we'll move forward. Thank you. Let me see. Good. I believe you cannot see my screen.
Yes, sir.
I believe you cannot see my screen. Good.
Yes,
And I
sir.
hope it is projecting. And I hope it is projecting your manual or the lecture notes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So as I indicated earlier, we are going to look at international business. So at the end of this first session or our first meeting, we should be able to understand or have an overview of international business, differentiate between international and domestic business, why and how businesses enters into foreign markets, drivers and hurdles of international business, and then we also finally look at the future of international business. So this is what we are going to do today. Yeah, so when we talk of international business, what is our understanding of it, or how do we see international business or understand it? Anybody? So if I ask a question and you want to respond for the class to be orderly, I know this is not the first time you are using this medium, that's the online system for lectures, face-to-face interaction. So you know what to do. When you go into the icons there, you raise your hand and then I called you. So that the class will be orderly. It's not as if anybody anywhere will just be speaking just like that. So please, let's take note of that. Yes. What is our understanding, our layman's understanding of international business? Yes, any helper? Anyone to help us? Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Anyone to help us understand what international business is? Nobody.
Hello,
Okay.
sir.
Yes.
International business, I think, is doing business outside one's country.
Okay. Doing business once outside one's country. That's
Mm.
fine. Any other opinion? Any other opinion? Okay. Has any of us transacted any international business before? Has any of us transacted any international business before?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
No. Who said no?
Henrietta.
Rita, you have not transacted any international business before.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Rita, currently the dress that you are wearing, is it an African print, a Ghanaian made dress, or is a foreign dress?
It's a foreign dress.
Okay. Have you taken tea before?
Tea.
Tea. Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
please.
Yes. Is tea made in Ghana?
The Milo was made in Ghana.
I didn't mention Milo. So you see, we have all transacted international business before. So basically, these are what we are talking about. When you consume a product or you access a service that is not emanating from your home country, that is basically international business. Do we get it?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we have all transacted international business before. So we are saying that we define international business to refer as the buying, selling, and trading of goods and services across national frontiers. International business is simply referring to the buying, selling, and trading of goods and services across national frontiers. So far as you consume a commodity, as I said, or access a service that is not of Ghana, it basically means that you have transacted international business. Why do we transact international business? There are two main reasons why anybody would transact international business. And these reasons are made rare out of advancements in technology. Now, with technology, I can sit here, order for goods and services from China or any other country. Then we are also looking at relaxed political barriers. Most countries are forming trade blocs and other view to give access to their neighboring countries to transact international business or do business with them. So we enter into international business mainly for individuals to make profits. To make profits. Individuals enter the foreign markets basically to make profits, whilst government also enters into the international market or transacts international businesses for economic growth and development. So individuals will mainly enter into international business transactions for profit making, whilst government also does that for economic growth and development. So an individual entering into an international business in Ghana, maybe the commonest we see is people importing vehicles. Those are the car dealers. And why are they doing this? They are doing this to earn some profits on the cars that they import and sell in the country. Because Ghana is not known for producing of cars. It was Apostle Kojo Sabo who was trying for us, but unfortunately, he's also gone to his maker. So all cars that we use here mainly are from other parts of the world or other countries. Then can somebody also give example of why or a service that is being rendered by government for economic growth and development? Can anyone give us any example? Okay, So a typical example, I hope we've all heard of the West African gas pipeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Ghana needs gas to power some of our power generations because we cannot only or solely rely on hydro to produce electricity. So we need power, we need gas to power some of our plants to get sustainable electricity. But unfortunately, Ghana doesn't have enough crude to process and to get gas out of it. For this reason, Ghana and Nigeria has form of partnership whereby the government of Ghana buy gas from Nigeria to power this plant. And this is what we term as the Ghana, the West Africa gas pipeline. So it's an agreement between Ghana and Nigeria for the production of gas from Nigeria. So government also enters into this form of engagement or transactions in the foreign market because Nigeria is not Ghana. Yes, for economic growth and development as a whole for the country, Ghana. Do we get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
good. Then we look at some international business transactions. International business transactions will mainly include some of the underlisted activities. One, we are looking at transactions in primary products. So what are some of the things that we often exchange or engage in when we talk of international business? So one, we are looking at primary products. With primary products, we are looking at products in their raw forms, such as minerals, oil, cocoa, coffee, and etc. Then we also have transactions on semi-processed goods for exports and imports. So we also process some commodities or goods to be precise, and we sell it outside Ghana or we import those goods inside Ghana to help us produce a finished good. To help us produce a finished good. Then we have capital investment in the form of agric and extraction, manufacturing, communication, transport, and etc. So these are people investing in some of these things outside their home country. Then we have investment in international services, such as banks, advertisement, construction, tourism, hotel industry, land and sea transport, and etc. I believe you know that there are a lot of banks that are operating in Ghana, but they are not of Ghana origin.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So a
Yes,
typical
sir.
example, we have ABSA. ABSA is all the way from the United Kingdom. We have banks like uh, then this Nigerian bank, Zenith Bank, is a Nigerian bank. We also have FIB or something, FBI. Yes, that is also a Nigerian bank. The FBI initially stand for First Bank of Nigeria or something. So that's FBN, yeah, First Bank of Nigeria. So when they wanted to go international, they only use the acronyms. And a bank in Ghana has also done similar thing. What bank is that? What bank is that?
GCB.
GCB, good. GCB used to be Ghana Commercial Bank. But ever since they started to hatch the idea of going beyond the shores or the borders of Ghana, they have changed the name from Ghana Commercial Bank and it is now GCB Limited. So the GCB doesn't have any interpretation. It is only those of us in Ghana that we know that it is still Ghana Commercial Bank. So these are some of the things we are talking about. Then we also talk of transactions involving trademarks, copyrights, patents, and other technologies. So these are transactions that some companies will give rights to other companies outside their home country to use their trademark or to use some component of their products at or in a foreign market. So basically that is that. Then we also have human resource development in different countries. So human resource development is also something that informs people to go internationally. There are some countries that have human resource in some areas where maybe you may not get in your home country, that you may wish to go and do your production there so that you get.
Hello, sir.
Hello, I can't hear.
I think his line dropped. Hello. Hello.
It could be a network issue, so he will join us shortly.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Hello,
sir,
sir.
we
Sorry,
lost you
sorry.
briefly.
Yes. Sorry. So I'm back, but unfortunately, where I am out of jurisdiction. I'm out far away outside Cape Coast. Uh, I'm not having access to power now, so unfortunately, my laptop just went off. However, we can still make progress. But what it may require now is that I may not be able to project from my phone. So I will entreat you to open your model, then you follow from there. Is that fine?
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
please.
Yes, sir.
So I'll not be able to share my screen because I don't have the content on my phone. But at least I can speak to it also from where I am. Okay, so we were talking about human resource development in different countries. So as I indicated, human resource development differs from one country to the other. For instance, there are countries which are well known when it comes to technology. When we take a country, for instance, Israel, Israelis are very good when it comes to technology. So based on this reason, if you take a place like China, they are also very good. Japan, they are also good. So if I want to go into a technologically uh, high productive good, I may look at these countries either than say looking at Ghana, where our level of technological development as people is not so high as compared to these other nations I've spoken about. And because of this, too, based on the product you want to produce, where you decide to produce may give you the opportunity to have cheap labor. As I said, if you are in Ghana and you are hiring a Ghanaian to do that service for you, because we don't have a lot of people who are trained in this technological area, that person may take advantage of the monopoly and charge you high. But when you go to places where those professions are there in abundance. You have the opportunity to bargain and have that labor at a cheap cost. So basically, those are some of the reasons why people enters into international transaction. The last one to talk about it is portfolio investment in stocks and in bonds of other countries. So we are here, and I believe if we all follow the news, we've heard of Eurobonds before. So Eurobond, for instance, is a bond market outside Ghana, but Ghana do trade on that to get some dividends or profit out of it. So other countries also invest in stocks and bonds outside their home country, so as individuals, just for profit making. So basically, those are the things. Then we move ahead to look at some terminologies in international business. So international business is an evolving discipline. For this reason, some terminologies are still not cleared and are used interchangeably. Others may use words to refer to business that operates in other countries. Others may also use global to refer to businesses that operate in other countries but with standardized goods or standardized products. So these two words, world and global, are used interchangeably when it comes to international business, but these two words connote different meanings. So as indicated, when we say that you are doing business, maybe around the world or across the globe, it means you may have different businesses in different countries. But when we talk of global business, we are looking at a business that has a lot of outlets in different regions by producing that same product. So example of a global business will be what? Do we know any company that wherever you go, you find them, but the products or the services rendered are the same everywhere? Do we know any of one?
Coca-Cola.
Yes, so Coca-Cola is a typical example. Everywhere you go, it is the same Coca-Cola, same taste. Another example could be, say, KFC or McDonald's. Wherever you go in the world, it is same taste, same ingredients. So these are some of the things we are talking about. So from the definition above, a global firm searches the world for market opportunities, sources of raw materials, finance, and personnel. So any firm that wants to go globally, want to have more market opportunities, want to have access to more raw materials or finance from other countries, or may also do that because a particular country may have the requisite personnel that will help that company to achieve its aims and objectives. A global firm also tries to maintain a dominant position in a key market. The market is so big and everybody wants to be known or associated with having the highest market shares. For this reason, most global firms will also enter into markets for the domination of a position in the market. Then we also look for similarities among markets. So some global firms will look for markets where people will patronize or will use that same product that they are producing. On the other hand, global company refers to a firm that attempts. So what we look at is global firm. A global company is referring to a firm that attempts to standardize operation in all functional areas, as I said. Foreign businesses in a domestic operations within a foreign country. A foreign business is a domestic operations within a foreign country. International business is a business whose activities are done across national frontiers, and multi-domestic companies applies to a company with affiliates in other countries. Each of these affiliates formulates its own business strategies, depends on the market differences perceived. So when we talk of a multi-domestic company, we are looking at a company that applies or have affiliations in other countries. International company refers to global and multi-domestic firms. Now we move on to look at the globalization debate. So the globalization debate is simply talking about or giving us knowledge whether globalization has been good or it has been bad. Whether globalization has been a blessing or it has been a curse or an evil. So those who are argued in favor that globalization is good says that globalization removes barriers to international trade and investment, leads the global economy to prosperity, increase cross-border trade and investment, which results in lower prices of goods and services, and stimulates economic growth, rises income levels, and creates jobs. So those who have argued that globalization is good is of the view that globalization is good because through globalization, a lot of countries have relaxed their borders. And through that, a lot of people are able to do investments in other places. And through these investments, then that is why today we are having products being sold at a low or a very low cost. That is why today most economies are growing. That is why today income levels of people are increasing and jobs are being created. All these things are happening because of globalization. With globalization, you can be here and you hide somebody from another country. I know in recently, one of the richest man in Africa, Alingo Dangote, came into the news. People were bashing him. Why? Because he said, Sani, Sani, please mute yourself. Good. Because he said that most Nigerians are not good when it comes to management of firms. For that reason, he prefer bringing in expatriates from Indian and co to manage his business for him. And I also heard Mr. Kennedy Japan also making same statement that most Ghanaians are not reliable. When you hand over your business to them, before you know they have collapsed it. For that reason, we prefer bringing in foreign nationals who will be more honest and truthful to him so far as his business is concerned, so that his business will grow than giving it to a Ghanaian who will collapse it. So these are some of the things that out of globalization they will be made possible. We know how a lot of people are traveling to Dubai, that's in the Emirates and co, for them to get some work and also make some greener pastures. So these are some of the things that globalization has brought. Then we look at the criticisms of globalization, those who also think globalization is not good. So they are also of the view that globalization destroys jobs in advanced economies, such as the US, Germany, and the Japans. This is because Removing trade barriers enable businesses to move their operations offshore to countries where labor costs are low. Also, the falling trade barriers motivate businesses in developing countries to relocate their operations to developing countries that lacks adequate regulations to protect labor, the natural environment from abuse. Finally, the critics claims that it's underpin the sovereignty of the recipient countries, where economic power moves away from national governments to international bodies such as the European Union, the World Trade Organization, the UN, and what have you. Bureaucrats in these organizations can impose policies on democratically elected governments, thereby limiting their ability of the country to control its own affairs. I believe this is self-explanatory enough, so we may not have to be labored on it. So basically, what it's saying is that through globalization, a lot more business has been moved to areas that, if not for globalization, they wouldn't be. Why? It is so because there are some level of motivation in terms of cheap labor and in terms of weaker policies in some of these countries. And a typical example in Ghana, as we know, is where we have a lot of Chinese coming in here to do galamsey, to destroy our water bodies and our natural resources, especially the environment. Can a Ghanaian go to China and do same? Of course, no. But through globalization, people have the opportunity to come here and cause all this menace. Again, it is also saying that through globalization, people or international bodies that have been clothed with powers mostly use their forces to force a sovereign government or independent government to succumb to certain things that ordinary that government wouldn't have accepted. So a typical example now, we know that people are pushing gayism and homosexuality to the throat of other nations simply because if you don't accept that, some benefits that you get from them out of globalization, they will seize it or they will cut it and they will make your government or your country ungovernable. So for some of these reasons, some countries have to succumb to these pressures from this, as we may say, super or giant national unions. So we move ahead to look at the differences between international and domestic business. International and domestic business. So fundamentally, there are differences between international and domestic business, and this arises from the simple fact that countries are different. Countries differ in terms of culture, in terms of political system, in terms of legal systems or legal regimes, in terms of economic systems and level of economic development It is important to consider all these things before you take any move as a business. So as students of international business, if we one day manage a firm and it seek or wants to go internationally or globally, there are certain things that we need to look at because the laws, the culture, the political system, and the economic levels of countries differs. For that reason, if you want to enter or venture into any foreign country for business wise, you need to look at all these spectrums and make your considerations before you venture into those businesses. In addition, are differences in modes of entry, government restrictions, and currencies. So all these things are things that we need to consider before we venture into any international business. Business operating across borders must attend with these three basic environmental forces or factors. So we should also consider these three basic environmental forces or factors before we venture into any international business. We are looking at domestic, foreign, and international. The domestic environment, the foreign environment, and the international environment. So with domestic environment, we are only looking at forces which affect the host country's environment that may have an impact on its operation. So as you want to venture into any foreign transaction or foreign business, you are operating from a host or a home country. There are laws in the home or host countries that can prevent you from going outside. Every country has its own rules and regulations governing the operations of businesses in that country. And some of these can be a ban from entering into foreign countries. So these are some of the things that we are looking at. Then we look at the foreign environment. With the foreign environment, we are looking at basically forces that are uncontrollable and originate from outside the country of the business. So if I'm doing a business or I'm a Ghanaian setup business and I want to go to say Nigeria, as I said, I have to look at the laws of Ghana. Am I permissible with the kind of business to go and do same business outside my home country? So for instance, if you are in Ghana and you are dealing in the sales of say gold, can you send this same gold to Nigeria to sell them? Our laws doesn't permit that. So you can't do that. So that is what we talk about the domestic environment. Now with the foreign environment, we are looking at the forces in the country where you are going. The forces in the country where you are going. There are some countries that certain products or goods and services are made monopoly just because the government may wish to sustain those businesses. For that reason, they don't allow other businesses to come in. In the recent times, or in some time past, the only cement that we know in Ghana was gassing. That was because our trade laws didn't give way or pave way for other companies or foreign made cements to come into the country. But the situation is not the same today. And through that, that is why we have had some level of price stability. So these are some of the things we are looking at. Then you also have to look at the international environment. So with the international environment, we are looking at transactions between the domestic forces and the foreign forces as a whole that have the propensity to have effect on your business. So recently in Ghana, the previous administration, they have a slogan. When I say previous administration, I'm referring to the previous government. Everything that you talk about, they will attribute it to Russian-Ukraine war. Meanwhile, Ghana is nowhere closer to Russia and Ukraine. But because of the effects of the international environment, that is why those forces in Russia and Ukraine also have impact in doing businesses, even having effects on the governance of the country, because we know that we're importing flour from Ukraine, and out of the war, flour became scarce. Now, to produce bread and co became a challenge. So these are some of the things we are looking at. These environmental forces can broadly be broken down into two. That is the internal force and the external forces. When we talk of the internal forces, we are looking at things that are within the control of the business. This may include raw materials, capital, people, and other things. But when we talk of the external forces, we are looking at forces or effects that are outside the control of the organization or the business. At worst, all that management can do is to lobby policymakers for change in those laws that is affecting their business. But management may not have direct control over those things as compared to the internal forces. So basically, those are some of the things. So what are some of the things that will be out of reach or out of control of a business? So according to Bowles, they have listed some of these things that we need to consider whenever we are looking at external forces or external factors that affect businesses operations in the international business. So we have competition. International business or a business that want to go internationally, they have to look at competitors, which kind of other businesses are in the world doing the same thing that you want to do. Where are their locations and their activities? So you need to look at this. Once you study your competitors, then you are able to come out with products or goods and services that will help you penetrate into the market where they have perceived. Then we also look at the distribution channels. Are you looking at national or international agencies available to distribute your goods and services, or you want to enter into the market and do direct distribution of these goods and services? You know, there are some companies, all that they do is that they will do the production, bring it here, say for instance in Ghana, and they have these distribution channels or people who are marketers and understand the Ghanaian market and know who and where to sell what. So they will do the production and give it to them, and then they will do the distribution. Others may also produce the thing, set up everything here, and sell it themselves here. So those are some of the things that we need to look at. Then we have to look at the economic variables. So when you want to enter into any foreign country, you need to know their level of GNP, the unit cost of labor, personal consumption, inflations, what have you. You need to research on all these economic variables before you enter into that foreign market. Then we look at social economic variables. Those are the characteristics and distribution of human populations. So every country has its own ideology or concepts or characteristics of how the people there behave. So for instance, if you are a company and you are producing bikini or short dress, I don't think your target market will be the Arab countries, because at those places they hardly wear those things. In fact, it is a crime to wear them. For that reason, you don't consider those places as your marketplace. Then we look at financials. Financial variables such as interest rates, taxes, and what have you should also be considered. We look at the legal framework of that foreign country where you want to venture. Then we also look at the physical elements such as the topography, climate, natural resources, and what have you. So in Ghana, or in most of our West African countries, when you come and say you are coming to set up a company, a garment company, to produce cardigans or pullovers, how many people are going to patronize that? Because we don't have the extreme weather where we have a lot of cold and for people to patronize these things. So these are some of the things that we need to look at when we want to venture into any foreign business. Then we look at the political climates of that country. Some countries, especially in Africa, we are known not to have that kind of political stability because of conflicts here and there. So if you want to do business with us, you need to look at the country. For instance, I don't think currently, even domestically, any business owner would like to go and set up a business in Moko. You won't, because you know that the place is prone to conflict. And once there are conflicts, it totally will bring your business into a halt and your capital will be locked up. So those are the things. Then we have to look at labor, the composition of labor, skills, and attitude of labor available. You need to consider all this. Technology, the technological skills, equipment that affects how resources are converted into that goods and services. All these things have to be looked at before we venture into any foreign transaction or any foreign company for business. Then we move on to look at why and how business enters into foreign markets. At this venture, any question? Any question? Hello?
No, sir.
Hi.
So are we all okay?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Am I
Yes, sir.
going fast or I'm too
Yes, sir.
slow?
Oh, that's
It's
okay.
okay, sir.
It's okay. Okay. So let's make progress. Reasons why and how businesses enter into foreign markets. So what do you think will be some of the reasons why a business will enter into foreign markets or into a foreign market? From what we have said so far, what do you think will be some of the reasons why a business will enter or venture into a foreign market? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, Daniel,
Sir, to expand their operations and rake in more profits.
to expand the operations and rake in more profit. Good. Is it Hamza? There was another, yeah, Hasim. Yeah, I think it's brother Hasim. 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 Okay, if Hasim is, yeah, Hasim, yes.
Hello, sir. For with the government sector for the for
Any,
economic
any.
purposes.
Okay, so for economic growth and development, when it comes to the government sector, Khadija,
Sir, please, to increase the market share,
to
the
increase,
foreign market share.
no, not to increase the foreign market share. So they want to increase their shares in the market. So those are some of the reasons. Yes, so let's make progress. Thank you for your contribution. So there are two broad reasons why any business would like to venture into a foreign business or the foreign market. These two broad reasons are for aggressive reasons or for defensive reasons. So for aggressive reason, we are looking at the desire to increase. Your desire to increase your production or your services are for aggressive reasons. Then we also have defensive reason, as the name implies. Defensive means protection. So if you have a large share of the market, you would like to protect that market share that you have. For that reason, you would like to venture into foreign transactions or foreign businesses just to consolidate your profits, increase your sales, and also increase your dominance in the market. By so doing, it helps you to reduce cost. So those are the two main reasons or two major reasons why businesses would like to go internationally. So when it comes to the main reasons, we are looking at to obtain greater profits. So to have greater profits, you wish to go internationally. Once you go internationally, it means you are going to sell to a large audience, and doing so, your profit margins may increase. Again, you may also go into countries where labor is cheap. By reducing your labor, you are increasing your profit. So these are some of the reasons that firms would like to go internationally. And also to gain access to more reliable and cheaper resources. So resources are not the same. What you use in producing your goods and services, countries may be well endowed with them as compared to others. So by going globally, it means that you may be able to move your production line to where you can get these resources or natural resources you need for your production more cheaply and also always or readily available to help you to meet your production lines. So it says that such firms are able to produce goods much cheaper than businesses in their home country, mainly due to low labor costs and subsidies offered by the host country government. You know, in Ghana, for instance, governments give some tax incentives to some uh, companies, especially when you want to come and set up a factory in Ghana. There is a place that it is set up for you to set up these businesses, and there are certain tax incentives that you enjoy. Have we all heard of the Ghana Free Zone Board? So if we haven't heard of it, we read about it. So
Yes,
the
sir.
Free Zone Board is a typical example of a government business just trying to ensure that some reliefs are given to setups. And I believe per experience, we have also all witnessed that there are some incentives that government of Ghana gives to some of these multinational companies when they set up businesses here. So a typical example is MTN. MTN has changed names about 4 times before getting to its current name, MTN. We used to have space bar or something. It came to Ariba, it came to something, and then finally to MTN. And all these changes are sometimes emanated as a result of getting or continue to enjoy the tax waivers. So now MTN is different from Ariba. So you cannot say that you will not give MTN the tax waiver because Ariba enjoyed it. So these are some of the things that you need to consider in entering into a foreign market. Then we also look at increase of market shares, as Khadija mentioned. If only one company is enjoying in the market, that company becomes monopoly. And for that reason, it is very difficult for them to reduce price or cost and to get value for money for your production. So other firms may like to go into the foreign market to enjoy some level of oligopolistic benefits as the market structure. When they are able to also penetrate and get part of the market shares, then it will help them also maintain or force you to maintain a certain price level that will be beneficial to all. Then we also have the rise in foreign competition. So every company and even to some extent nations want to venture into businesses to create some level of competition. And once there's competition, consumers have the opportunity to make choice or decide which products to go in for from which company, and making imports and exports transactions very, very important to any country. So once there are this kind of competition, every government wish to do more exports so that they will earn more foreign domestic revenues as against imports, which will volatile your currency. So even nations will engage into some of these strategies just to ensure that they remain super nations and their currency will not be volatile. Then also to satisfy management desire for expansion, as was said by Duncan. So that is it. How do business enter into foreign markets? So as a business, if you want to enter into a foreign market, there are so many ways of entering into the foreign markets. Just like there are so many ways of selling a car. You get it? So depending on what you want to achieve, you may consider any of these avenues. Do you want to do direct exporting of the product? So you produce a commodity here in Ghana and then you export it to other parts of the world. That means you are doing direct exporting of the products that from one country to the other. You can also look at licensing. With licensing, you are giving the operational rights or the right to the product to another company outside your home to use your formula or factors of production, your brand name, your logo, and everything to produce that same company on your behalf, where that company will pay you royalties. So our sister mentioned Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola is a typical example. Coca-Cola same taste everywhere does not necessarily or does not mean that Coca-Cola is only produced in its home country and it will import this Coca-Cola to the other countries. No. These other countries, companies have set up their own operation. They have only taken license from Coca-Cola to operate that same brand. So that is what it means by licensing operations. Then we have franchising. With franchising, it is also another form of license, but the franchising is just an agreement or an arrangement whereby a business grants another business the right to use the name, logo, and methods of production. Franchising is limited to your logo, your methods of production and your advertisement lines. But with licensing, it goes autonomy, giving the whole or the full right to somebody to operate your business. So that is the difference between franchising, where a franchisor grants another business, the franchisee, the right to use its name, logo, method of production, and advertising to sell its product or service in a given territory, return for a financial commitment. Then we have creation of subsidiaries. Creation of subsidiaries. So with creation of subsidiaries, we are looking at a business that is operating in Ghana, but may have a subsidiary in, say, any other country. By this, we are not necessarily looking at having going to produce the same product under the same name. No, it is the same mother company, but wherever they are, they have different names and different forms of operations. So I can be producing, say, alcoholic beverages in Ghana, but when I enter into any foreign market, or I can enter into, say, Nigeria or Togo or whatever, good morning, with this same name, but in Nigeria, I'm not going to produce alcoholic beverages because maybe there are laws frown upon that. So I'll be producing water. So that is my subsidiary. It is still the same company. I've entered into another country producing something different as a subsidiary. Do we get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we look at contract manufacturing. With contract manufacturing, we are just looking at giving a foreign company the right to produce certain components or certain parts of our production line for us. So, for instance, as I said, maybe we are producing bottled water. You can give part of your contract, say maybe the manufacturing of the plastic bottle, to, say, a company in China, which may produce it more efficiently and quite cheaper. So though you are producing water, it is know that you are producing this water, but some of the components are not coming from you. You have given contract to another company elsewhere to produce some of the components that is being used in your production line. Then we have joint ventures. With joint venture, we are looking at partnership agreements among businesses to achieve mutual success in a particular market or industry. So in recent time, two of our telcos have come together to form a joint venture or have amalgamate. What are these companies? What are these companies?
Airtel
Airtel and Tigo.
Thank you. So Airtel and Tigo has come together to form a joint venture. That's why now they are called AT and not Airtel and Tigo as it used to be. We move on to look at the drivers and handlers of international business. Drivers and handlers of international business. With drivers, we are looking at some of the things that has
Hello, sir.
propelled. Yes, madam.
Please, I want you to go over the difference between licensing and franchise.
Franchising. Okay.
Yes.
So with licensing, we are saying that you are giving your full rights or full autonomy to another company to produce what whatever goods or services you are rendering at a fee called royalty. So that person has the full right to use everything of yours to produce the same commodity and pay royalty to you. On the other hand, when we talk of franchising, we are looking at only giving your company name, logo, and advertising channels to another company for a fee. Do you please get the difference?
Yes, please, sir. I'm okay.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
So licensing is more detailed than franchising.
That's okay,
For
sir.
franchising, we're only giving some component of your brand to the franchisee to use. But
Okay.
with licensing, you are giving the full autonomy.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome, my dear. Yes, so we move on to look at the drivers and handlers of international business. So for us to understand it more clearer and to save time, those that have their respective components. So for instance, when we talk of politics or the political arena, we have its drivers and we have its handlers. So I'll put them together so that we work with some form of speed. So let's look at politics. Politics as a driver of international business. What can we think about when we talk of politics being a driver of international business? Do we think it's possible politics can be a driver of international business? Is it
Yes, sir.
possible? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so how is it made possible?
So, sir, I think political heads or political government make regulations for international business, whether it will favor them or it will not favor them to come into the country.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Any other suggestion? Is it Hassan that spoke?
No, it's Samson.
Okay, so Hassan, your hand is up.
So it looks like that hand had been up for a very long time. I'm not sure.
I see. Okay. So politics as a driver of international business. So since we are all in the global village, nations are forming regional groupings and trade blocs to present significant marketing opportunities for their members. These groupings have progressively reduced barriers to foreign investment and trade by governments. So through politics, we have global blockings or regional integrations or groupings. With this, we are simply talking about countries or regions coming together to form a trade bloc alliance.
Come in here. Come in your family.
Edmond, please mute yourself. Edmond, please mute yourself. Good. So we are looking at countries or regions coming together to form trade blocs to give some level of freedom for their countries to enter into trade. So we have some of these unions like ECOWAS, like the AU, like the CARICOM when it's come to the Caribbeans and what have you. So all these unions, they meet or the heads of states meet to look at how they will all open their borders to each other so that trading will be among these countries. By doing so, their economies will grow and expand. So in recent times, we know there is this railway going on. So those of you at Ho and Somenya, you have seen them. And what is the purpose of the railway? And what is the name of that railway line?
So are you talking about the Teman Pakadan railway line?
Yes. What is the purpose of that railway line? Nobody have heard anything about it.
I think
Yes,
it is
Duncan.
supposed to convey goods from the Tema port through Mpakadan all the way to the northern region and then to the Sahel region like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger or thereabout.
Exactly. So it's an ECOWAS project. And even beyond that railway line, now they are also doing roads. So for instance, at Cape Coast, our roads are under construction, same as the whole enclave. So they want to expand trading activities. And one of the reasons of expanding these trading activities is to have relaxed borders and have efficient transportation means. So as we said, we can carry things from Ghana all the way to Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso will also continue to another country just like that. So it means we'll be trading massively among ourselves. So that is it. Then let's look
What
at
of this? This one.
let's look
Close
at
20.
some
20.
of the
Then give me
handlers.
this.
Let's look at some of the handlers under politics. So with this same politics creating avenue to fuel international trade, politics can also serve as a barrier. So for instance, there are countries with instability or unstable political regimes or atmosphere. And when it happens like that, it hinders the progresses of international trading and international business. So like, as we use the example, assuming this uh, Ghana or the West African Railway line has come into fruition. When Burkina Faso had the coup, the super nations or the superpowers could have clamped on Burkina Faso. And in doing so, the things that we want to send from Ghana through Burkina Faso to other neighboring countries may not be possible. So that would have been a hindrance or a handler to international trading or international business. Do we get it? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Good. Then we move on to technology. With technology, we are looking at the advancement and the increasing number of computerization and communication technology in general that permits and increases the flow of ideas and information across borders, enabling customers to learn about foreign goods. With the advent of the internet, businesses can contact clients and partners all over the world at a cheaper cost. So technology has helped us to explore a larger market. If I need any products now, I can go online, see everywhere I can get that product in the world, compare the prices, which one I think will best suit my budget, I'll go in for it. So that is how technology has helped increase or develop international trade. On the other side, through this same technology as a handler to international business, it has also help in the importation of some foreign cultures. Importation of foreign cultures. Because through technology, you can be here and you learn about a particular product in, say, the US or in the European Unions or wherever. And you would like to bring those same products here and mimic how it is used there. So I gave an example. In the past, it was very difficult for you to see a Ghanaian dressed half naked. But through technology, we watch some of these things in movies and on the internet, and we have imported those foreign cultures into Ghana. So that is how come technology now becomes a handler in international business. Then we move on to marketing or market. Market is also a driver or not a barrier to international business. Regina, thank you. Please mute yourself. Okay. Sorry, you may get some small background noise in the thing. As I said, I've traveled to do some other exercise for the university outside Cape Coast. So that's how come you are hearing all those noise. I'm sorry. Okay, so under market, this is what we are looking at. We are saying that international business have made it possible to find the home, if you find the home market being saturated. With saturation, we are all that we are talking about is when there is no other opportunities in the home or domestic market. It gives companies the opportunity to enter into foreign markets where there will be vast level of opportunities to catch in with. So as I said, if you are in Ghana and you are a company in Ghana, you are producing water, and you have a huge production line, you produce to the level that you always have stock pile up, not being sold. The best opportunity is to enter into another market and make judicious use of the production that you have, because the more you produce, the lesser your fixed costs and your factors of production. But this same economy, this same market can bring up some economic hardship as a barrier or as a handler to international markets. So before a business enter into any foreign market, there is the need to do the SWOT analysis. With the SWOT analysis, we are looking at assessing the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats in the foreign market where you want to do your business. And by so doing, one possible threat that the business may seek to encounter may be your inability to do proper forecasting. Once you don't do proper forecasting, the opportunity for the business to survive in that foreign land is limited. So it's good for you to take advantage of the economical advantages of another country by venturing there for business. However, in doing so, you have to be cautious about the opportunities, the weakness, the threats, and strengths of these economies onto your business. So that one is a barrier or a handler to the progress of your business. Then we look at cost as a driver. Yes, as we have seen from the previous slides, we know that any business that will venture into a foreign market also aims at getting some reduction in cost. By so doing, if you are able to get raw material at a cheaper cost, get labor at a cheaper cost in a foreign business or in a foreign land, you are able to also get more profits, thereby reducing your cost of running the business. So that is a reason why a business would like to venture into international business. Another is competition. Once there are rivalries in the business, if you don't learn to outwit your rival will outwit you. So there was this company in Ghana that tries to produce noodles. I don't know if any one of you heard or seen yummy noodles. Did any one of you heard of that, especially my ladies?
Yes.
Yes, but now yummy noodles is not in the market.
Yes.
This is what happened. When they produce, Indomie will come and buy whatever they have produced and go and destroy it. So they see themselves that they are producing, but technically their products were not on the market. And over time they were frustrated by this and they folded up. So these are some of the strategies that you need to look at if you want to venture into any foreign market. There are certain things that you need to consider in ensuring that your opponent or your competitor will not outweigh you. Then we also look at social variables. As I also mentioned, our way of life varies from one country to the other or from one continent to the other. So for you to venture into any foreign land, some of the things that may motivate you or prevent you from these foreign lands may be the way or the lifestyle of the people. So as I mentioned, if you are selling revealing dresses, you can't go to the Arab world and be selling those kind of dresses there. You will not be permitted. Or in the end, if you are given permission, who is going to patronize it? You get it? Because the people there doesn't, per their culture and their religious orientation, they don't fancy those kind of dresses. So that place will not be an ideal place for you. So this can be a barrier to the progress or the success of your business. The other one to talk of is the problem of currency shifts. The problem of currency shifts. So as we know, there is no universally accepted currency. For this reason, when you want to do business, you also have to look at the strength of the currency at where you want to go and do business or where you want to venture to do the business. So in recent times, for instance, if you are importer of any product and you are in Ghana, and for instance, you mostly we import with dollars, and you import with dollars, and you come to Ghana and sell. The profit margin that you make some 2-3 years back, as compared to now, will it be the same?
No, sir.
No.
Why?
No, sir.
Because the cost of
The exchange rate has reduced.
Exactly. It's because the city has appreciated. So once the city has appreciated, it means it may reduce the quantum or the volume of money that you can get from $1 then as compared to now. So this can also be a barrier to successful international business. We move on to look at the last unit or the last session, that is session 6. That is the future of international business. The future of international business. Do we see international business having future? Or we don't?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so Mabel, why is international business having future?
So that wasn't the question I wanted to ask you.
Okay,
I
so you
wanted,
have a question.
yes, I wanted to ask
Okay,
that can
please.
a language barrier be a problem to do international business? Can
Of course, yes.
barrier?
That is when, if the company decides to go into the the market direct itself. Do you get it? Hello,
I
Right,
hello,
sir.
Mabel. Mabel, are you there? Okay, so if you decide as a firm, if you decide to enter into the market directly, it's directly by yourself. Sometimes there are some challenges that language can give to you, and it will not help your business to flourish. So in Ghana, for instance, we speak English. If I'm producing a good or I'm offering a service and I decide to go to Cote d'Ivoire now and I decide to do the business myself at Cote d'Ivoire, I'll be prevented to some extent because I can't speak French. But if I'm to give it to a subsidiary or something to do it on my behalf, then fine. But once I want to do it myself, there will be that challenge and it can be a barrier. So, Mabel, I hope you've been answered.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. You're welcome, my dear. Okay, so we are talking about future of international business. And I did mention, why do we see international business to have a future? We all have agreed that international business has a future. Why is it possible? Or what is making it possible? Yes, any contributor? Any contributor? Okay.
so I think with the advent
Mhm,
of technology, especially internet, it's made
mhm,
the world more global.
mhm,
So reaching international businesses becomes easier. Like we
mhm.
said earlier, you can be in Ghana and order your goods from Turkey, from China, from all over the world. So yes, there's a future for international business, and I think it's easier now to do business than in the past.
Good. So that is all my brother has explained. So there's no need to talk much. International business is now the way to go. In recent times, people don't even open shops again. All that you need is an Android or a smartphone. You just get the products, especially the ladies. Now everybody is saying, I'm doing my they have a term. They said side hustle. Everybody has a side hustle. So they only go get some bags, get some wigs, get some shoes and slippers or have you. Just take pictures, put it on their stats, and that is all. Anybody in your contact anywhere in the world will see those goods that you have advertised. And if that person is interested, we'll just order for it. And when it is ordered, with the advancement in technology and what have you, you can ship it to the person. Technology will come in here because now when you even do shipping, you can track your shipment. Are you aware?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. So these are some of the reasons why now the future is international business. No matter whatever you do in your own small corner, in your own little way, you can still target a large market audience out there through the use of technology. And that is what has made international business more vibrant and more futuristic. Just yesterday, somebody sent me some app which will help anybody to start up or set up a business. And this is how the app operates. You can go to any of these online shops, say Temu, say Alibaba, whatever. Then you show me the steps. You go there and you create a website for yourself on products that are available to them and they are on a high demand. Immediately, I create the website myself, where a website is created for me. Now, it gives me the opportunity to advertise those products to people in my cycles or to people who view that my account or my website. And when they view and they are interested in that product, I'll have advertised it there. So I'll add a profit margin. So if the product is 2 CDs, I'll advertise and say it is 3 CDs. When you see and you like it and you click on it, now the order will not even come to me. It will go straight to the Alibaba people. And for them, the product is 2 CDs. So they will just package it, send it to you, take their 2 CDs. Then I also take my 1 CD without doing anything. And these are some of the things that are happening out of technology. And that is why we say international business is the future. Now, technology and the future of international business, and you yourself. So technology continues its unprecedented growth. Markets in the rest of the world are instantly accessible. The growth of the internet and advancement in e-commerce enable business worldwide to bypass normal required distribution channel to reach large markets. Some authorities suggest that e-commerce is the future of international business. It is important, though, to remember that obstacles or challenges in technology also still exist in international businesses. The major challenge has been the lack of information. In addition, some developing countries fear e-commerce will lead to erosion of their culture and languages. Over time, such technologies and social obstacles is one of the challenges confronting international business in this century. Despite these challenges, though, technology has the potential to radically change businesses and create opportunities for firms in global trade, regardless of the size. So that is the future of international business for you. Then we move on to look at the international business and matters arising. International business and matters arising. So international business and matters arising. Globalization has four major characteristics. Globalization has 4 major characteristics. First, it involves a strengthening of social, culture, and economic activities across frontiers, regions, and continents. Secondly, it can be linked to the growing interconnectedness and flow of trade, investment, finance, and migration. Thirdly, it can be associated with development of a worldwide system of transport and communication link. And lastly, the growing intensity of global interactions, exchange of ideas, information and technology, innovations and invention. So clearly, globalization is a multi-dimensional phenomenon with both threats, opportunities alike, a double-edged sword. So we should know these 4 major things associated with globalization and understand them. Let's look at some advantages of doing business internationally. Increase free trade between nations. Corporations have greater flexibility to operate across borders. Global mass media ties the world together. Increased flow of communications allows vital information to be shared between individuals and corporations around the world. Greater ease and spend of transportation for goods and services. Reduction of culture, among others. Then we also look at some disadvantages of international business. Increased flow of skills and non-skilled jobs from developed to developing nations as corporations seek out the cheapest labor. Increased likelihood of economic disruptions in nations. Corporate influence on national state for exceeds that of civic society organization and average individual. So these are also some of the disadvantages. So all those things are there, they are self-explanatory and you can read them. Okay. The last point, globalization and you. Do you see yourself to be involved in the global change of international business? I gave example to my lady who said she has never transacted any foreign or international business transaction. So you can also exempt yourself from the increasing and rapidly evolving international business ecosystem. Whatever you do, wherever you find yourself, if you are not an entrepreneur that wish to have some product or goods and services across to other borders or other nations to sell, you may be a consumer who will wish to get goods and services from other countries and consume. By so doing, we are all immune to globalization and international business, and no one, I repeat, no one is an island. Thank you so much. Any question? Any question? Hello.
Hi.
No, sir. No question.
Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There is no
Yes, sir.
ambiguity anywhere.
No.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. On that note, thank you all very much for your time and your attention. So I wish you the very best in your next lectures. Stay blessed
Thank
and have
you.
a nice day.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Bye.